Hey guys, it's Snailbiter, and I've got some more World of Tanks here. This is another one of my Ace Tanker rounds that I wanted to show you guys, and it's with the Batchat, which is the Tier 10 French medium tank. And I thought this one was a pretty exciting one. My blood pressure was definitely up pretty high by the end of this round. I think it's a pretty exciting round, and not just because it ends up well for my team, but you know, it was kind of back and forth. I think I played well, but I also did make some mistakes in this round. And I also find the Batchat is just a pretty fun tank to play in general. I mean, being able to unload those 5 clips of like 390 average damage or something, it's a lot of fun to play. It's just funny because I actually don't play it very often. But anyway, it's also on South Coast, another round on South Coast, and as you can see, I started this round somewhat conservatively. I think more conservatively than I would typically when I'm playing this tank. And the main reason I decided to do that was because I saw there was a platoon of 3 Batchats on the other team, and so I figured they would probably be fairly aggressive to start the round, and I did not want to, I did not want to die really quickly in this round, and I mean, obviously, if I try to take any of them on, they're probably going to be working together, and so I'm just going to get outnumbered, and I wanted to avoid that, particularly because I noticed that our team has 1 less tier 10 than they do, and I figured I'd be more valuable if I just stayed alive early on in the round and waited. So I ended up deciding to just kind of hang out on the hill for a little while, try to take out some of these scout tanks. I don't know why I couldn't hit that AMX-12T, but for some reason I only was able to get 1 shot on him, and I took 4 that were directed towards him, but that was kind of annoying. And those 2 guys who had gone down to that rock, or at least the Lorraine that went down to that rock, died pretty quickly as well, so we were already down our tier 9 pretty early on in the game. But anyway, the Batchat, it's funny, I've actually had the Batchat for a while now. I bought it just before it became a tier 10 tank, so I actually bought it when it was a tier 9 and didn't have to pay the 6.1 million credits for the tier 10 tank, so that was nice. But even though I've had it for such a long time, I actually haven't played it all that much. I think I've played maybe 50 rounds total in it, and I think around the time I got this Ace Tanker, I had only played maybe 40 rounds with it, so I'm by no means an expert on this tank. I think I have generally a pretty good sense of how to play it. Off the top of my head, I think my win percentage is decent with it. Not that that really matters too much since I've only really played 50 games with it, but generally I've had success with it, and I find for the most part that if I can avoid taking damage early in rounds, it really allows me to do much better towards the end of the round, because I think once some tanks are eliminated on both sides and the map just sort of starts to open up, I think that's where this tank really thrives. It's a great tank, particularly one-on-one, but just if it's say each team has like 4 or 5 enemy tanks left, it's great for like singling out enemy tanks and just taking them out in one swoop, just because it can deal so much damage in such a little amount of time. I would even maybe go so far as to say that it's the best one-on-one tank that you can play in this game, just because of its ability to deal so much damage so quickly. The round definitely started out a little slow here. As you can see, I'm kind of going back and forth. I just don't really want anybody to get into our base at this point. I'm trying to protect my teammates. Initially I had wanted to kind of see where my teammates went and then see where the enemies went. But we had a lot of guys sitting on the hill, and so I didn't want to advance out by myself and just get killed. So I ended up definitely hanging back a little bit for the beginning, and I get a nice little shot on that Batchat there. That is one thing that I do like to do with this tank, because the turret is mounted sort of towards the rear of the tank. You can kind of do I wouldn't really call it side scraping, but it's something to that effect, where you can make it harder to hit your tank while or can expose as little of your tank as possible while getting a shot on somebody. And so I end up going around the Batchat, and the IS-3 I guess distracts him enough to allow me to get behind him and finish him off. But already our team's down by a few tanks, and I notice over there that there are 2 tier 10s in front of that Jagdpanzer 100. So initially I wanted to go over and help him out, but I'm still in the middle of my reload, And then I see the IS-3 gets killed behind me, and so now at this point we're down 5 tanks, and I'm really just thinking, I'll just try to eliminate tanks, and I see this guy is pretty damaged, so I decide I'll just go after him and try to finish him off, and then if that E100, that Panzer E100 still needs help, I'll go try to flank those enemies that are over there. And so my one shot in the ISA leaves him with 1 hit point, which was kind of annoying. But luckily I was able to finish him off without having to take any damage. And so I get him out of the game, and I decide I'm going to try to go flank around and help out that Panzer E100, because I figured, he was basically going 1-on-3 there, and I figured he'd probably need help. But he actually does a pretty good job, and I think our artillery that was over there must have hit one of their tanks as well, because even though he's 1-on-3, I would have thought that 2 tier 10s and a tier 8 would have been able to take him out, particularly when one of those tier 10s was the Batchat. But he does a good job, and he definitely locks down this corner and sets that IS-3 on fire. So he didn't even need my help. And just like that, we're actually kind of looking pretty good now. We have 3 tier 10s left against just 1 on their team. And so this one I'm feeling pretty good about the round, and here just gonna get a kill shot on this IS-3. But the one thing that I always have to be worried about, particularly in tier 10 battles, is the artillery. So they definitely make a big impact on this game, and as you'll see coming up. But so now it's back to even. We were down by, I think, 5 tanks there, and back to even. And this is here is where I think I kind of make a bit of a mistake. First of all, I'm still reloading here, and I saw that T-21 was spotted, but I decided to go look over here anyway. And I think what I probably should have done here is, first of all, just waited until I was fully reloaded before I actually exposed myself and let myself get spotted, because then I maybe could have caught him while he was still trying to go around and just take him out right there. But instead, I spot him, and he spots me, and I'm not fully reloaded, so I can't actually shoot at him, and he just retreats, and that'll become a factor in a second, as you'll see. So, looking back, I'm not really sure if it would have been a better idea for me to have gone into the enemy base and try to take out artillery. I mean, that might have worked, because they're probably still focused on our base, and wouldn't have really been expecting that, but instead, I decided to hang back here, and that E3 actually ends up moving up. I think I had thought that he was still back sort of in the center of the map where he was at the beginning, and so I was hesitant to be really aggressive. And here I decide, it's probably worth it to just try to take him out, and since I have a good opportunity, he just shot, and I decided to try to take him out, but instead I bounce one of my shots, and I completely ignore this T-21, and he's shooting me in the back. And there he takes out my driver, so now all of a sudden things are looking bad. And I don't know if you noticed earlier, but the Panzer E100 team killed our T-34, and then he gets killed himself by that E3. So now things are not looking good again, and I'm getting chased by this T-21, and I can't do anything about it because I'm still reloading. And he's actually done a good deal of damage to me too. So that was, I think, a bit of a risky move on my part to just go after the E3 and completely ignore the T-21. But the fact that he just doesn't do much damage, I think, is the saving grace for that move. And I also think I got lucky here that Artie didn't try to target me. Well, you did hear a shot land, I think, behind me just there, but it could have been a lot worse than that, I think. So I end up actually just being able to reload and kill him without. I mean, I'm down to 700 hit points, which is not that low, or not that high, but it's not really that low either. So I'm trying to. If that 50B, I was hoping he would have stayed on the other side, so I could have just gone straight up and either distracted the E3 so the 50B could have killed him, or just taken the kill myself. But instead, the AMX 50B flanks around, and so I have to waste time going all the way around to get up and get a side shot on this E3. And if you saw earlier, the 50B just a second ago got hit by artillery, and here again the object finishes him off. So now I'm the last tank left, and each of those artillery that are left easily has the ability to one-shot me. So it's definitely not a given here that I can get both of those artillery. But at this point I was feeling like I think we've done a good job coming back, and I feel pretty good about the way I've played so far. I've got 5 kills, and you know, I just first I wanted to reload, and so I didn't want to go rushing into the base before I was reloaded. So I decided to go around here and go towards the flag, I figure. And if you saw that IS-8 in chat told his artillery to move together, and so I figure it's likely that they're in the same area, because, you know, if I go and kill one, then chances are the other one would want to be nearby to, you know, to try to help or defend his teammates. So I try to avoid the cap zone and make sure they don't know I'm here. But then I spot the M12, and I decide to back up instead of keep moving and take a shot on him. And I get a little lucky because that shot hits my cross. I wasn't fully zoomed in there. And then I know the object's probably looking at me, so I do a little bit of a back and forth maneuver, and his shot lands in front of me. So if I'd kept moving there, he probably would have hit me, and, you know, very well could have killed me. And since the Batchat was killed earlier in the round, I think I noticed that back when he died, but he was killed by the object, so I figured he was probably right that the object was back here in the corner still. And since he just shot, I figure I can just go straight at him and hopefully catch him before he reloads. And so sure enough, there he is. I get a lucky track shot there, and track him again when he repairs it, I'm assuming. I got a little worried there when I bounced off him, but you know, make sure to get an easy shot there to finish him off. So that's the end of the round. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was definitely a pulse-pounding round, I think, for me, but I was pretty satisfied with the way it turned out. So there's the end of the round. Got Top Gun. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.